I'm going to have to cut that. Greetings, pals.
Greetings, pals.
Greetings, pals.
Hey, welcome to the podcast. We're on the pal. My name is Frank.
My name is Marcus.
My name is Tom. Who's that third voice in the room
I
all
know,
of a sudden that I
'cause
hear?
The listeners don't realise that I'm sitting on a black screen, but it obviously affects you. So I do apologise for that.
Marcus Hensley is back.
Hark, I do hear the dulcet tones of Marcus.
Sorry, you're getting back to the.
I wasn't doing the we can't see you. I was doing the
the
we
fact that I've
haven't
been
seen
missing.
you for a while.
That also won't make sense because on YouTube we'll still have Marcus. We
Yes.
just don't have him on the Zoom.
But at the moment, we cannot see you, Marcus.
This
Frank
is
and I
a
are looking
great
at each
start.
other.
Welcome to the podcast.
I'm back.
Jesus, I love it. I hate it.
Let's pretend we can see him from this point on. All right, well,
Yeah,
Marcus,
yeah.
you're looking great.
Let's not acknowledge it, in fact. Let's
Yeah.
just keep going. Love it or hate it, we debate it. It being movies. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Today we're talking about Project Hail Mary.
Yes, we are.
A 2026 film directed
yeah.
by Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, based on the Andy Weir novel, starring Ryan Gosling.
And
Put a little bit of-
we're
you put a-
going to talk about it.
I was going to say, Frank really put a little shuffle on that. Wheer. Like just a little
Cool.
spirit hands, but for enunciation. I liked it. I thought it was really nice.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And on this podcast, Thomas, we rate films out of 11, and we've given you ample time to prepare. In fact, we did a dry run, as they say.
More than ample, I would say, friend. More than ample.
Yes, all right. So why do we rate films out of 11?
And now the dry run's done. Just spit on that thing
Now
and get
just-
on with it.
No.
You know what you got to do. Hark to Immortal. I don't know, will YouTube scan for Hawk Tour in a transcript to get us
I
the
hope
size?
I hope so. I hope
That
we
would
get
be funny if
demonetized.
someone has to type in Hawk Tour phonetically to look.
So,
We rate
Tom,
films
out of 11. Yes, we do.
Because I think 11... I'm going to say 11 hours is the amount of time that Ryan Gosling seems to have aged in the last 11 years of his career. Like, if you showed me a
That's
photo
good.
of him from
That's good.
2015 and then one from now, I'm like, yeah, I think those were taken about 12 hours apart. Maybe a day. He looks exactly the same. It is astounding.
He's
how
aging
well-preserved.
like a rare wine.
I
Rare
think-
wine.
Yes, a very...
One you never find in the wild. I think it's that it's just being in space. It's good for your skin.
I think
Nothing's
it's
dragging
that.
you down. It's the anti-gravity.
Great
It's that.
skincare in space.
I think he's like somehow Dorian Gray'd all three of us because we seem to be aging a lot quicker than the typical
That's
time.
it, Tom.
And-
I generally spend most of my waking day comparing myself to Ryan Gosling. You're right.
okay, well you should. 'Cause I don't know. It's been great for me.
There's
It's been
no
great for my
comparison.
self-esteem.
We're not even in the same conversation.
Oh no, he's just taking our age. Not that we're the same. I know what you mean. That in the picture
You
of Dorian
mean-
Gray, it's literally
yeah.
the same person. No, he's just sucking our youth from us. I
Oh,
think.
quite literally. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
He's sucking something from me.
For those who haven't seen Project Hail Mary, the movie
Yeah.
we're talking about, can we stop? Like, just stay on track for 1 second. Project Hail Mary is a science fiction. I'm doing the synopsis and I'm reading this, so give me a break.
I know. No, it's okay.
A science fiction novel and 2026 film by Andy Weir about Ryland Grace, a teacher turned scientist who wakes up on a spaceship with amnesia. Oh no, he can't remember anything. He discovers that his last chance solitary mission to save Earth from an alien microorganism that is consuming the sun, leading to a potential ice age.
Sounds a little drab, all like that, doesn't it? Like, do you guys
Yeah,
agree
it's
with me
a
that it's
little
quite
macabre.
generic? It's very well read.
That was
Frank.
beautifully read,
Thank you.
Frank. We are very proud of you. Well done.
Thank you.
I think you did a wonderful job. I think the actual logline sounds very... You're like, yeah, I think I've seen that movie 700 times.
It's very
Like,
similar to Sunshine, right?
It's Sunshine.
Which why would they call
obviously-
it Sunshine if there is no sun? Wouldn't they call it No Sunshine?
Bro, I think you hit upon something there. Danny Boyle's going to want to hear about that.
Yeah, I'm the boil on his ass. All right, shout your name if you like this film.
Marcus!
Frank, yeah.
Tom's doing the sip.
I'm
doing
doing
the
the
little
sip. I'm doing the little sip. I had a little sip. Is that all right?
I knew this.
This is
We
good.
Knew this.
Did
We
you?
knew this from day one. Yeah, because Tom said something shitty in the chat about or something. I forget what
Fuck,
he
that
said.
does sound like me. It's actually
Very-
dead on.
He got us there.
okay.
He got us a good
nailed
one.
me.
Oh, well, Frank, do you want to go first or me? Up to you.
I want you to go first.
All right. This is a 10.2.
Whoa!
That's quite high.
Where's the thingy? That's incredibly high.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a
10.2.
beautiful film. Wow. Okay, I'm going to go a 9. I think it's a 9 for me. So, I liked it a lot. Thomas?
I'm going to start at a 4. And I have...
It's so
I
long.
think-
Yeah, don't even give him the full note.
Yeah.
Blam blam.
Blah,
Boom.
blah.
4.
I mean, when you consider proportionally,
I-
you enjoy this much more than I
Twice-
dislike it, Marcus.
twice in
Like,
2.5.
Say again.
That is correct.
I was
Yes.
doing some math. 2.25.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a friend last night who happens to be a bit of a listener. I wouldn't say fan because that's weird. And he was like, he was explaining the pod to someone else that we were meeting, and he was like, yeah, so sometimes they have movies on and they pretend to hate it and they pretend to love it. I was
Like it's a bit.
I was like, it's never a bit, it's never exaggerated. These are our honest feelings and thoughts. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
So, Tom, you're giving it a 4, so you're an idiot and you don't enjoy fun, you don't enjoy banter,
Yeah.
you don't enjoy beautiful visuals and sci-fi effects.
Sure.
You have no heart?
I really only enjoy you, Frank, which is like maybe the saddest thing that's ever been said on this podcast, honestly. But you give me joy. Marcus, I can't even remember what he looks like anymore. He's been gone for so long and I still can't see him.
That's so
but
fair.
I think your voice makes me sore, Marcus. No, it doesn't make me sore. It doesn't
was
hurt
nice.
me. It makes
Yeah,
the
what?
Soar
my
like
wings.
an eagle. We
yeah,
understand.
no, it makes
we
me
understand.
I think that you've really hit immediately upon a thing where, all right, I want to give a very brief thing here. I've never, ever, ever come into an episode we have ever done, ever, feeling anything like
Ever?
ever. It's all
Just to clarify,
I've phoned it in the entire last 4 years. I've never come in and been like, oh no. And that's how I feel coming into this one. I see the way people love this film.
Oh, okay.
I see the...
Yeah, okay.
I'm not coming into this being like, this sucked, obviously, and blah, blah, here's my thing. I'm just kind of like, I missed something because you and everyone else
Frank,
loves this film.
This
Loves
is a
this film.
momentous occasion. This is a very rare moment in Tom's life where he's like, I didn't feel a certain way about this film, but I can't explain it this time.
No, I can explain it. I 100% will give you the next...
Yeah,
if
Tom,
you shut your
No,
fucking mouth, I will
listen,
tell you everything
you can't explain it.
And you heard it
can't
here first. He can't explain it.
And that'll be the end of the episode. That's
I know
good.
exactly why I didn't like this movie.
Okay.
The degree to which I
He
am
can't
off on
work
it.
out why he's wrong, then. I think we need to...
Yeah,
Well, I've
interesting,
never.
'cause-
I suppose it's kind of like asking a fish why it can't fly. Like it's never had to think about that before.
Yes, you
So this
cannot
is-
rationalise
this
with
is the
irrational
best
people.
time.
You are correct. Yep.
Okay, well,
Yes,
let's
I'm
just quickly,
glad that
because-
we both agree on that. You fuck.
Hey, language absolutely inappropriate. So, like, let's just quickly to Tom's point and to Marcus's point. This
Yeah.
is a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got
Yeah.
an 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Generally, people are
Well
very
received.
fond of this film.
People love
hugely
this
well
film.
received.
People
and
love
Ryan
this
Gosling.
movie.
Ryan Gosling made an amazing comment where he was like, "Hey, it's not your job to save cinema. It's my job to make films that you want to go and see, and therefore I'm saving cinema." Not calling himself Cinema Jesus, but like he is.
Yep.
He is Cinema Jesus.
I mean, Jared Leto's right there, man. That's rude.
Don't you do that.
We call
Jared
Ryan
Leto's the
Gosling
angel.
the anti-Leto.
That's
Yeah, he's
true.
Jared Leto's the angel Gabriel who then fell from heaven and became Satan. I don't know if
Yeah.
you know the Bible very well.
No, which chapter's Morbius?
What chapter?
Okay,
the Book of
let's we're getting in the weeds. Let's
Sorry.
we've got 3 different points here that I think will be very interesting, but
Yeah.
why don't we give a very quick, I know we've done synopsis, but maybe just a brief outline of like I guess how the movie plays out, just so we can get into the nitty-gritty of I guess why it does
Yeah.
or doesn't work, right?
So Ryan Gosling wakes up from a coma in
Yep.
a vessel. We don't know where he is. I mean,
Yep.
from the poster, you know he's in space, right?
Yep.
But he's like, well, what's happened? I don't know where I am. And there's no one. Everyone else is dead on the ship, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then the movie is told, through this live action moment where he's in space and he's sorting everything out, trying to get back to Earth, plus also trying to save the sun. And then via flashbacks, which I believe is him, because he has amnesia from the induced coma. That's him recollecting his memories and remembering how he ended up in space. And it sort of pieces together. And by the end, you get the full
does.
picture of the
Yeah.
journey that happened leading up to the launch, and then everything after that, and then you're
In the middle
weeping
of that,
for some reason.
yeah. In the middle of that, we get the relationship building with an unknown alien species, and I know we'll get to it.
They're
We'll obviously get to this.
They're Iridians? Is that what they call them?
The
in movie?
Iridians.
Iridians.
The
Iridians.
Iridians from
Yes.
Erid.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're Earthians.
All right. Well, who wants to go first here? Because I reckon someone needs to have a quick ramble about their point.
You guys should go. 100%. People want to hear how much people enjoy this film. I'm not... I will get into my earlier point a bit later about how I felt thinking about this movie.
I mean, I'll go briefly because I think it's pretty easy to encapsulate why I loved it. Like, it felt like Interstellar meets Guardians of the Galaxy meets Moon with Sam Rockwell. Like,
sure,
it's a wonderful sci-fi film. It's kind of generic story, and the science isn't too delved into, which I think is to its credit. You go like the translation device for Grace, who's Ryan Gosling, Grace, and Rocky, the alien Iridian.
Yeah,
like they go, oh, let's work out a translate device, and in the book apparently it delves into that a lot much deeper. But in the movie, it's like, yeah, cool, we're going to figure this out, so let's not bore you with it. I think it moves really well. It's paced really well. It's funny. The quippy dialogue is, I think, actually charming and enjoyable. Yep. Ryan Gosling is obviously just eating scenery in every scene. He's hilarious. He's heartbreaking. He's emotional. You can tell he's having a good time, and he's been given creative license to do that. And
I think he's a very square peg in a square hole in this situation when it comes to.
I think that's well put.
Yeah. Absolutely fits. The writers described him as a frustrated comedy writer in a leading man's body, and I was like, yeah, that's good. It's like, it's nice that he's getting these roles later in his career where he can be sillier and fun. Like, it's not The Notebook anymore. He can do funny, silly stuff, but also
he's been doing it for, like, I would say the last decade, and probably almost it's always his most successful.
He's done weird stuff, like Lars and the Real Girl. When was that? Like,
which is a quirky but sad, like,
weird
guy who's on the verge of killing himself if he doesn't get to fuck a doll. Like, you know, it's just a good movie.
Which is the same as this, but just
obviously. Sorry, I just described Project Hail Mary.
We spoke about this with One Battle After Another with Leo, for example. The fact is that after a while with Leo, you go, am I interested anymore? Was this a good performance or wasn't it? But you go, no, he's just being Leo, being consistent. You start to see the tropes, the mannerisms, the things that we know and love him for.
The toolbox that they use.
The toolbox that they use, yeah. And I think that Gosling has so many different shades to him, and we've seen all of them now at this point. He's at a point in career where he's gone, hey guys, guess what? I'm doing a space movie. And we go, cool, we buy it. What are you going to do with it? Oh, yes, you're using all of these tricks that we've seen before, but we don't hate you for it. We love you for it, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, I think calling them tricks is a little cheap.
And
I think Ryan Gosling
it feels
has,
almost like. Oh, sorry, Frank.
I think he has more breadth than he contains multitudes, which we've said a few times about certain people. Whereas some actors who have those tropes and tools that they use maybe are a bit more repetitive, whereas Gosling has a wider range to choose from. So,
if you put 3 films side by side, or even 2 films side by side, if you put Gosling in Blade Runner versus this, you're getting 2 big sci-fi world-building adventures that could not be more different.
And obviously his performance
and then
at the center
in the middle of that, then you've got Ken from Barbie. Do you know what I mean?
Like, but Ken is... I'd say this is like... I could watch this...
This is akin to Ken.
This is so akin to Ken, obviously. I could put this and The Nice Guys...
Yeah, The Nice Guys with Crossell
I
said Crossell Row.
Row. That's it.
And Barbie side by side, and maybe even a little bit of The Big Short, even though he's an arrogant prick in that, but it's still like he's doing almost a caricature.
Yeah, but then Crazy Stupid Love.
Crazy Stupid Love has a similar vibe. He orbits certain things, and then it's just so interesting when he can move out of that and do Drive and Blade Runner as well. And even a movie like Half Nelson, which is 20 years old at this point, still really confronting.
There's Drive, there's Place Beyond the Pines. The guy has such an extensive list.
I've never seen Place Beyond the Pines, but it's always one of those movies that I can just tell is going to.
You can't see the forest for the trees.
Anyway, my point is Gosling is incredible. I think he was amazing in this film. I'm backing your point, Frank, wholeheartedly. That one of the wider criticisms of the film, it seems to be, is that there was actually the science element to it was the letdown, and this is purely based on, and I'm sure Tom will touch on this in the pantry, but being that this was based off a book originally, and a lot of the source material comes from that. You have a lot of you have a big cult following when it comes to the book. And I think a lot of the criticism stemmed from the fact that the book was far more elaborate, and it touched on...
It delved into the science.
It delved into it more, pretty much. And not just the science. I mean, the relationships, the world, the rules, the law, everything. It's all in the book there. So the film, obviously, from what I've heard, they've had to cut it down significantly from its original runtime. and it's still sitting at 2.5 hours. Do you know what I mean? Which is
Boy,
wild.
is it. Boy, is it.
Okay,
See,
so,
I didn't feel a minute of that. I was like,
and I
fine.
didn't either. When I saw it at the start, I went, "Oh fuck, this is gonna drag." And because I'd seen the hype of it, and I thought this was just a sort of a soft family adventure, I went in with pretty low expectations. I went in by myself. I saw it in the cinema, and by the end, and I'm going to tell you now, I cried 3 times.
Yeah. I'm about 3.
And we've talked about this in other episodes where you boys have been gripped and grabbed by a film and it gets you. And so those emotional highs and those emotional notes do resonate with you.
That's why we go to the
This
movies.
This is the first time in a long time where a film has hit the note. I didn't think it would. And it got me and it sucked me in and it kept me there all the way through. So,
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's immediately captivating, and I think it looks stunning.
Yeah.
Should we quickly talk about Phil Lord and Chris Miller?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Who directed this, also directed 21 and 22 Jump Street.
Great.
Shout out to our boy Channing.
Yep,
The
11 out of
Lego
11s.
movie. The Lego movie. What else did they do?
You said Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, didn't you?
Keep listing
Cloudy
all the
with
11s.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yep. You're right.
Bit of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Bit of The Last Man on Earth with Will Forte.
And they've done a lot of production and
Can they miss?
writing. They've done like the Spider-Verse movies. I think
they produced the
both-
Spider-Verse
and wrote some of them.
movies. Yeah.
Cocaine Bear Marcus, to answer your question, yes, they can miss, and how?
Yeah.
Which they produced. They didn't.
Have you,
they didn't-
wait, have you either of you actually seen that?
I've seen Cocaine Bear. That movie sucked. It
I
was
know.
terrible.
It's
Yeah.
so bad.
I haven't, and I don't know if I'm compelled to.
No.
And this is the thing. It's like you say, like I keep talking about 11s. It's like they've got a pretty good run, although quite, animated in terms of like animated films for kids. Like animated. What?
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting that they can do this film, which it feels fun and silly, but also quite adult and mature, and I think well-rounded.
Yeah.
Should we let Tom go for a little bit?
Yeah, no, let him go for a little bit because we're going to do some back and forth here, I reckon. Go on for it. Go, Tom. Let him go.
That's our conversation.
Take the collar
All
off.
right, I'll do it. I guess to my point that I was making earlier. Okay, so Frank, you say like,
clean
and so
start.
you
Good
hate
clean
everything, and you think fun stuff is bad, and you're a piece of shit, and that's why.
what I said.
And
That's
if
what I
you
said.
hear me, and sorry, if you're like, oh come on, Tom, go with it. I'm not going to be able to talk about this movie in as maybe an adequate or as a sort of circumspect manner as most movies. And the reason is I'm just like, I feel this more than I have any other time we've ever done this. Who cares if I didn't like this movie? Like, and I know you guys will be like, he gets it. No one gives a shit about his opinion. To which I'm like, that's very funny and true. And yet we are 3 gentlemen who started a podcast together. We are invested in the idea that we are offering our opinions and we think there's something valuable to them.
Yep.
And I'm just a little bit like, this is the most adamantly I have felt people just kind of be like, oh, well, who cares? Like, everyone else did like it. So you just bumming everyone out.
Well,
I'm going to
you're
try my best to
incredibly-
do it without bumming you guys out or anyone listening.
You're incredibly outweighed. Whereas, let's
More
say
than any film
Deadpool
in-
or Wicked, where you like hated them, but the world was kind of with you.
I don't
versus-
think we've ever done a film that has this level of. You guys know the top 500 letterbox, which gets updated every week, and it's like the most liked movies. Now it's an arbitrary scale; it'll change. It's very, very like ephemeral. It is currently number 89 in the top 500 on letterbox. This movie is like. It's like someone cured cancer, and I'm coming out here and being like, so what? Like real original cured cancer.
We're getting stuck on this point though because Tom,
the only point I want to make is just kind of like that's why I'm not going to go for this so hard, and I am here to be convinced more than
a lot of other
times.
that's good. I'm glad you
go
said
for
that.
it.
I want you
You
guys
try.
to tell me what was great here that I missed.
But we also want to know what you didn't like.
What I saw was one of the most generic blockbusters I've seen in years. I felt absolutely zero connection with the
Interesting.
majority of the characters. I think Rocky is a really misguided character design and execution of a character I've seen 100 times, and most of the time doesn't have the obnoxiousness to be one of the main characters. He's basically the dog from Up, which I'm fine with. But why is he like the second?
No, he's not.
Yes, see, in my opinion,
I can see what he's saying though.
Sorry,
I
but
think
you're wrong. But yeah,
He's in tight. This is the level of defensiveness everyone feels about this movie. Everyone is like, "Shut the fuck up! It was funny," and it's like, I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was really lame.
let's just quickly talk about that comparison. The dog from Up can't really speak and kind of is a side character because you've got the old man and the boy.
Sure.
They're the two.
He's
protagonists.
also, I'm being a little reductive by saying it's just a 1-for-1. He's also kind of Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. You know, he's also kind of just humor that is almost like foreigner humor, where it's like, they don't get our ways. Like, it's basically Manuel from Fawlty Towers. Like, he's just a collection of
the one
easy
joke I'll
jokes.
say that didn't land for me is fist my bum.
I think that's emblematic of so much of the humor around him. And I know you might say I'm wrong by saying that.
I think that's the lowest point of it.
I would
think
agree
the
with
rest
that.
of it, where it's like wordplay and funny things.
Can I interject here?
Of course.
I think I see. So I'm the 10.2 here. I'm going to just point that out now, and I'm not backing down for that point because I love this movie. But if I was to break this movie into 4 quarters, right, 4 acts, let's say, normally 3. This is 4, and I say that because if the second quarter, that right before you hit the halfway point, I almost checked out, and the reason is because of Rocky.
Okay,
right? It's because of Rocky, and because of that. And this is around the time when he's learning how to communicate with him, right? All of that sort of section. Mm-hmm. Immediately, I felt exactly as Tom does, where I started comparing it to all of these like animated buddies that we get in these films, and sort of the Pixar-esque dog-like quality that it was bringing to Rocky.
Everything is a dog in these movies.
Yeah,
right?
and they were striking those tones and those notes with it that I went, oh no, it is generic shit. Oh no!
So what turned you around?
So it won you back. That's amazing.
It did win me back
because that was me like flatlining for basically the whole movie.
And it's because Ryan Gosling was so effective in this film, working on his own, and might I add, with very impressive mix of CG and puppetry, which I love that they're doing puppetry again.
James Ortiz, is that his name?
James
who did
Ortiz,
the puppetry and the voicing?
We don't want to. We quickly. He wasn't by himself. Like Ryan Gosling was acting. Like James Ortiz was on set.
I think they intentionally had a lot of people on set with him so that he didn't feel isolated and alone. Very much like Ed McKellen in Lord of the Rings, for example.
Or in The Hobbit.
You break my
In The
heart.
Hobbit, sorry.
Yeah,
Hobbit.
This is not why I became an actor.
But what I'm saying is Gosling's performance was so effective to me that eventually I realised that I don't care whether Rocky has those traits that I sort of dislike almost, or I feel that are a little cliched or stereotyped, because Rocky is so important to him and his character development now at this point that it brought me back, and that's all I cared about. And by the time that I realised that his loneliness and his rate of survival depended on Rocky being there, I needed Rocky to be there. And I was okay with that, and I grew to like Rocky because of it.
So, because of Ryan Gosling's, he was so effective, he's made
so effective.
Care about what he cared about.
It's very tenderly put, Marcus. I think it's a really lovely evocation of what the movie does for everyone who loves it, and obviously was intending to do. I cannot say I was engaged by it. I really didn't find
it. It breaks my heart a little bit, actually.
I know. And this is why when I was like, oh no, I'm like, what in the fuck happened? Like, how did I go see this movie? Because I'm a person who, by and large, when a film is a triumphant success on a popular scale, on a scale that people consider a craft, it's obviously getting good critical reviews, everything. I'm not someone who's like, I need to be part of the trek, but I'm like, I not only didn't love this, I actively was checked out during it. Like, we talked about this during One Battle After Another, where I know people find that to be a masterpiece, and I even hate that there's this little bit of me that's like, I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I think it's incredible. But there's obviously a gap there. There's a huge gap here. A bigger gap than there has been for me in a long time.
I just want to go back to a few things about this dog comparison and Rocky being, kind of annoying. I think what flips it for me, and I never viewed him as, I mean, obviously he's puppy-esque in terms of the characterization, but when they first meet and Ryan Gosling is trying to communicate with him and show him the clock, and then he starts tapping on the glass, he's like, oh, you like tapping? And he's like
pointing to something.
Oh no, he's like, oh, you're pointing. Oh,
I laughed at that.
Already,
I think there were some bits that's a bit that I was like, idiot.
It's funny, but also, my point, Thomas, if you let me speak, is...
I'm sorry, Frank, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on this? Yes, and...
Yes, and me.
Fuck you, Tom, for supporting me. No, Jesus Christ.
You're trying to move me on. I know what you're trying to do. It's Rocky's more intelligent than Ryan Gosling. Rocky's more capable. He can do a lot more. He builds the bridge. He sends the first package. He's the one who's like, I'm actually a lot smarter than you, Grace.
Yeah.
So come with me. I'm here to help you. And yes, they work together and they have complementary skills and all that sort of stuff. But Rocky's not a helpless little puppy that needs saving. He's not this silly little kid. He's very capable. He's strong. He's resilient. He's funny, and yet like has that puppy quality. So like when he sacrifices himself,
you go. When he sacrifices himself.
When he sacrifices himself and like helps Ryan Gosling turn on the anti-gravity machine and all that sort of stuff, and you think he's died, it's like the perfect little sacrifice moment. And you're like, I mean, I wouldn't have cared about that if I didn't care about Rocky. So the movie wouldn't have worked.
And that's it. That's what got me as well.
Yeah.
The moment he crawled away in a burning wreck, I was destroyed almost.
Well, for me, it was. Sorry, to add to that, it's like James Ortiz's voice is so like, I'm Rocky, and I'm gonna. It's kind of robotic, even though that's actually how he sounds. Yeah. But when it changed to Rocky's like creature sounds and he's like whimpering and grunting and stuff, I was like, oh shit! Remember, he's actually a crazy alien, and this is so out of character.
And this is the thing as well, Tom. Again, I can completely see why, and that's why I'm not being too critical of your opinion here. Again, I'm heartbroken for you because I wish you were on the same side of the fence on this one. Yeah. I can see 100% why you would have found this film so jarring, because they do tiptoe that line so finely when it comes to the heavier tones of the film, the darkness of the film. And by the way, very dark film if you really unpack it.
But I think it refuses to engage with that in a way that I find very frustrating. But I know what you mean. It wants to have that.
What do you mean?
I don't think it's a movie where I felt the genuine threat of, like, the stakes on the level of the planet is going to die because the sun's going to burn out. Frank, you mentioned movies that you were talking about that you think it's similar to. Moon, Interstellar, Guardians of the Galaxy. You could also put Arrival on that list, right? Sunshine was one you mentioned as well. Movies where I think the tone is very much not the same as this movie. Mm-hmm. There is obviously a comedic sort of postmodern humor to this, where it's very aware. It's, characters called Rocky, and then Adrian's the girlfriend, and what's her name? Sandra Hüller sings "Sign of the Times." Right? It's a movie that exists in a different tone to that, and I don't think it suits it, or I don't think they pulled it off, because those other movies feel as if they're taking place in the world they set out for you. That the stakes of the extinction of the human race, or the loss of something grand, or the unknowability, such as in Arrival, where they don't even know what the aliens want and how to communicate with them properly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I find this movie just is kind of like a guy went on a spaceship somewhere and seems, I suppose, to be floating because the Earth, I've been told, is in danger, but everything seems to be going fairly well, except like a lab blew up. And then at the end, there's ice everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I guess it was real. Like, I just never got the connection between how I was meant to invest in his endeavor with a real palpable sense of environment and integrity to what was actually going on on Earth. It didn't feel like the stakes were real to me at all. I did not feel them.
Yeah, okay, that's hard to overcome. But I would also argue that isn't there something wonderful about, like, this is going to sound so cheesy and lame, but like the joy of cinema when you go to enjoy something.
Yeah. I love it when that happens.
I know.
It sucks when it doesn't. I'm bummed out.
Tom, I wanted to see another sci-fi. I wanted to see a sci-fi film again that wasn't just another Interstellar or another Sunshine.
I don't think they have to be that. I don't think so. But it's a disservice to the film, or it shows the film's deficiency. Yep. That while I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, I've seen Arrival. Yeah, I've seen Interstellar. Yeah, I've seen 2001: Space Odyssey. I've seen those movies. What else does this have to offer?
But is this not a vehicle for a personal story? Like, yes, the setting and the backdrop is it's a save the world story, but actually it's just it's a buddy cop.
So, Tom,
sorry, go on.
Sorry, you know what I mean? This is the point I wanted to make, and it's completely piggybacking off Frank's now.
Of course.
But yes, okay, the stakes aren't there. I completely agree with you in that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the point. And I think the point of the story is the stakes for Ryan Gosling's character and his journey, as opposed to what's going on. I mean, of course, that's quite literally the ship that we're sailing with him, on this, that's your point A to point B narrative.
What's his arc? What's Grace's arc in this movie? For you guys?
I think for me, it's to find... outside of being a teacher, for example, I don't think he really knows his purpose, right? And when that's pulled away from him and he's left isolated and alone, it's not all of a sudden he's isolated and alone. He's always been that, right? It's just...
He's never felt a connection with people on Earth.
That's it. And even with the students, for example, he has rules and guidelines to abide by and to follow. The kids just want to get to know him more and to understand, and they ask him all these questions. He says, look, kids, that's for your parents, that's not for me. he puts up these walls and these barriers where throughout the film he's finally able to find that connection, which to me was so much more important than the stakes going on Earth. I agree with you in saying that should be the point of the film.
So him and Rocky, it hinges on him meeting Rocky and that developing who he is.
Well, yeah, I think that... Yeah. Oh, sorry, yep.
To me, I just see this guy wake up. And by the way, I will say, like, if you wanted me to break this movie down bit by bit, I didn't 5 minutes in go, oh, this sucks. I was like, okay, I'm along for this. It was Ryan Gosling. He's charming. He's woken up with amnesia. I'm seeing flashbacks to how he might have gotten here. Yep. I was fairly moved by the scene of him eulogizing his two crewmates, which I actually thought was quite touching because I just thought he was very plain spoken, but he was very earnest, and I thought that was quite moving. And I was anticipating caring more about them. Bummer, but anyway, I thought still that that scene was quite moving. I guess once Rocky came along, I was like, this is the story of how these guys become buddies and they get along and they save the world. And then that was the movie, and I was like, I couldn't think of anything less adventurous and less impressive on any scale of emotionality, humour, or even craft, where some of it I thought looked good, but some of the time I was just like fairly underwhelmed or found it pretty derivative, especially like the spaceships twirling near each other, where I'm like, yes, I've seen 2001 Space Odyssey. I'd prefer to be watching that. Like, what's your point?
Would say, if this is such an important task, by the way, for the planet, it does seem odd to me, and always did, that they only sent 3 people.
I don't think anything about it makes sense. I think they're like, our orbital window's about to close. We have to make it Ryan Gosling. And I'm like, do you? Why? What's happening right now? It doesn't matter. And then I think the scene...
Because it's going to take them 11 years to get there.
Yeah, I'm saying, Frank, I didn't feel the stakes of this because they just go like, well, we have to move through this. Like, it has to be him for whatever reason. And then once they have that scene together, the final flashback, and it reveals Sandra Hüller, who I think is very good in this, has made the decision for him. I was like, I haven't been a fan of this split narrative. I think it's robbed the film of a lot of its propulsion. I think this is a very interesting payoff. And I really, really started to feel my stomach sink when the emotional reaction of Gosling, where he felt betrayed in that moment. And he started climbing up on the furniture and people started laughing. And I was like, oh no. And then he kept climbing on the furniture and people were laughing in the audience. And I was like, they're playing this for laughs. This is an actually incredibly sincere, quite vulnerable moment. And then it cuts to the shot of him running and you see the very comical close-up of him being and I'm like, this could have been actually quite a profound moment. And I think this is my problem with the film. I don't think it ever doesn't undercut its own profundity and is always too scared to be real.
So you think that the balance that I don't think they were aiming for wasn't
totally off. I think the ratio is completely out between.
See, I thought it was like,
humor
for
and the
me,
sincerity of the film.
Someone who's a fan of the film, it felt nicely juxtaposed because I still felt that weight. I still felt Gosling's reaction. I still felt the stakes of the Earth dying and all this sort of stuff. I was in it, and I think the comedy was a beautiful juxtaposition and a joy to have amidst the darkness of what the story actually is about.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You're like, maybe you don't have to be wallowing in sorrow and be an emo kid about it.
I respect that. I don't want to suggest that I'm like, it has to be like the dust storms in Interstellar. It has to be like, the planet, it has to be like the road and like just completely covered in some noxious sludge or fog that occludes the sun. It doesn't have to be that, but it needs to feel like I should be worried and I should actually think, how are they going to do this? And oh my God, is this going to work? And at no point...
You did not have that moment, sorry, just...
During the extraction, the fishing scene? Like where
that was fine. I didn't think that was going to be that
I thought it was pretty mid.
Yeah, the extraction scene was fine for me as well.
Yeah.
The scene where Ryan Gosling is heading back to Earth and then he realizes that, the light things have escaped and my containers aren't going to work, so I have to wrap them in a different container.
Just so I can clarify, is that the 6th hour of the movie or the 7th by that point?
Okay.
Here
we go.
There it is. There's my little bit of sass. I was like, can we get this over with by the time I got to that? I could not have been more ready for the movie to be over.
See, I felt
and then it kept going after that. They were like,
okay, Thomas, we get it.
No. My turn. This movie does not earn any of its final half an hour. I don't think at all. I felt so completely, for me, narratively, like between the characters, the interpersonal relationship, anything that had been established as far as like the risk inherent to them. I'm like, of course he's going to go back and save him. And of course that's not up to the scratch of the theme that the movie seems to be presenting, which is what happens when people who aren't brave have to be brave. Because he is brave. I know he is. I've seen him be brave the whole movie. And every time, like, it's not a surprise.
He says he's not, but he's been brave every fucking time.
And then it's like that one reveal, which I'm like, that's kind of interesting. But beyond that, he doesn't have an arc. His arc is taken away from him.
He's not being brave at that point.
That's
he's
what I'm like. That's
self-sacrificial.
Yeah. Which is like putting someone else ahead of yourself, right?
Yes.
Bravery.
Sure. But he's at the finish line. He's about to go back to Earth and get his life back, the thing that he was so devastated to be forced to lose.
Yeah.
And then he goes, no, I have to save Rocky. And also Rocky's planet.
Like, but I gotta find Bubba. Sorry.
Yeah.
Little vocal stem I had.
And Forrest Gump isn't the greatest movie of all time.
I mean, Forrest Gump's pretty good. It's just I would have rather been watching that, I suppose. I suppose there's just another movie I thought about that I would have rather been watching. Anyway, I think that
Tom started off this episode being like,
unintentionally, he was trying to be
sorry. No, once it got to the last half hour, I was like, I really did feel.
I didn't like how this movie.
Question for the room. Question for the room.
Yeah, sure.
Did we feel emotion during Sandra Huller's singing of "Sign of the Times" from Harry Styles?
I thought that was a lovely scene.
I love Sandra Huller. Scene.
Yeah, I really did like that. That's a big part of my enjoyment of the film is her performance. I think.
Yeah, she was great.
She's fantastic. Yeah, and Ryan Gosling's really good. I don't think he's bad in this movie. Marcus, your expression, he's a square peg in a square hole. I think it fits perfectly. I think there's something to be said for that feeling a little default, but not unwelcome. I was like, yeah, great. This guy's cool. I like watching this guy.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you can't hurdle
I like
the Rocky stuff.
I love that the film explores science, but it's messy. It's not exact. It's not you don't have those eureka moments. It's very much like it's science through failure. It's failure. And it's just those 1 in a million moments where you go, oh shit, a breakthrough. And it's not even an exact breakthrough. It's just enough to propel you forward. You know, that's the science I like to see rather than this like interstellar shit where everyone just at the top of their game and it's all equations on the board and you just have to believe it at face value. And I hate that stuff.
That was so good where they're like, hey, we've got to recreate Venus. And they're like, all right, let's wrap it in foil.
I like that scene. I think the stuff
good.
with Lionel's really good at this movie.
So
I was actually really happy to see Lionel. I think he's a welcome presence. Yeah,
he was great.
Look, visually I thought it was sensational as well. Frank, I don't think you even watched this in cinema, did you?
No, I didn't get to cinemas to see this.
So how did you?
I watched it on my 15.
He shook a magic 8-ball and just waited for it to show up and watched
it. It's not as bad for the listener. It's not as bad as when I watched Dune with the casino ads on a 480p. This was at least HD. It might have been a cam version, but it was pretty clear. Audio was good.
I thought the color saturation in this, which normally would bother me because it almost at times had a very Marvel sort of color pop to it. Especially when the fishing scene, which I agree I was like, whatever. I don't think we really needed this, or it could have been a lot shorter.
I kind of like the shot of him against the planet, like just the green and purple swirl, and just the shot of Ryan Gosling. I was like, that looks pretty cool. And then like everything that happened after that, I was like, this is quite poorly staged, in my opinion. Like I'm not actually
I agree.
Really
Once
following...
it moved closer to it, all of a sudden I'm like, I think we're going to Oz. I'm not real sure.
Yeah, and just everything to do with
you mean specifically the fishing scene where he's flying?
Yeah, and even the winch just kind of getting caught and then him having to sort of put himself on the line for it, and everything I was watching there, I was just like, I don't feel like I'm in the hands of people who have this down yet. Like,
I didn't know where I was in space. The moment he popped back into the spoiler alert, he lives. He comes back into the spaceship. I was like, how did he get like that? The physics of that didn't make sense in my mind. Like,
I don't think so either.
Pictured correctly.
He threw it into the ship as though he was climbing on board an actual pirate ship. Like,
didn't make any sense.
Gravity all of a sudden the rules didn't matter. I believe that.
Yeah. And that's one of those moments where I would say that people might go like, yeah, well, it's not that kind of movie. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. I guess I prefer it when it is.
This is to your point, Tom, like these things do matter regardless of comedy, drama, whatever. You have to get like time and space right.
And you go, Marcus. You go.
Well, this is unfortunately just one. It feels like one of those moments again, Tom, where you weren't able to buy in from the very get-go, and
the get-go of Rocky's introduction. I definitely would say,
and
pretty much up to Rocky's introduction.
That was nearly a deal breaker for me.
I was like, there's
Loved it from the
something
start.
here. I'll see where we go. I think that the most interesting aspects of their relationship are smoothed over to such a degree that almost every time I felt the promise of something, I was like, no, it's just going to be like to me personally, the lowest common denominator version. With my biggest example being them learning to communicate. Oh, this guy just makes physical gestures and noises. How are we going to? Oh, he's got a clock. Okay, yep. Oh, he's tapped once, and they can communicate perfectly. Fuck. Well, that would have been interesting.
That was
maybe
a
I could have
sequence.
seen more of that. That would have been really fun to watch them learn how to get along.
The language between them should have been far more broken than it was, and
I disagree entirely. I'm so glad that went quickly, and I'm so glad they're like, oh, I don't know how to, because we know they're gonna. It's the fucking whatever year it is, 2,300, and yeah. Like, you know, you're gonna get there. You're not gonna run with subtitles for the entire film.
no. If
I
I'm
guess,
nitpicking,
like, you know, you're going to get there was like the fucking tagline for this movie for me. I was just like, yeah, every scene, I was like, I know what's going to happen. Just go on.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Frank, if
With
I
the
Enjoy the
exception
ride.
of some
Enjoy
of
the
the
ride,
Sandra
Tom.
Bullock stuff.
Enjoy the visuals. Can we talk about Greg Fraser?
See, Frank gets upset when I dislike a movie he
I'm trying
loves.
to move
This
on.
is the difference.
You're going to just
You've
wallow
gotta-
in.
I'm going to
all
ask
you're
you,
gonna say.
what are your thoughts, Frank, on Greg Fraser's cinematography? I just wanted to ask.
I think it's stunning. I think it's one of the most remarkable looking films we've seen in a while. It's refreshing. It's
no, they're fighting again.
it's
The
space.
girls are fighting.
It's the space we know and love. Yeah. Greg Fraser, who also did Dune 1, Zero Dark 30, The Batman.
He did Dune 2 as well, I think. Pretty sure.
Well,
And this-
I can't read that here. But he invented the zoom, right? The zoom,
I don't know what you mean.
which is this
Like the effect of
big-
zooming
Tom,
in
I
on a
think-
camera?
I think
don't know if he-
grammatically it's he's done to. It's not he's Dune to.
Oh, he's done 2. Sorry, he didn't Dune 2. I apologize, Frank. That was I put the wrong participle there. Go on. You were talking about how he invented the zoom lens on cameras?
The zoom is it the zoom? God, I don't know what to Google here.
We're on
But
Zoom right now. Is that what's confusing you?
No. you know in The Mandalorian where they had the giant TV screens.
The volume.
The volume.
Oh,
Jesus.
zoomers. Yeah. Zoomers.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help.
Literally, I did. You're welcome.
Yeah, I was being sincere.
I could tell.
You couldn't tell? Listen to me. Did Greg
For
Fraser
everyone wondering
invent
why
that?
we had to move to different states to continue doing this, this is
get
part of the
fist
reason.
fights.
Yes.
Did he invent the volume?
I don't know if Greg Fraser invented the volume. I genuinely don't know. He may have. But he's a very talented cinematographer, in my opinion. And I do think
Yeah.
he did a wonderful job with the Dune movies.
You don't think he did?
No, I do think he did. A good one. 2 times. And I think that this movie looks okay, but, like, it wasn't anything that gave me that feeling that I like to have when I'm in an IMAX cinema, where I feel like, oh
Well,
my God.
even the what's the belt called between the planets? The actual they give it a name.
Yeah, the Vesuvian. Like,
Veruvian
and you're talking about like
line
the
or whatever.
ultralight frequency almost.
Yeah,
where it's just,
the
I thought that
V
looked pretty.
line.
I thought that looked pretty cool. I even think some of the
We'll call
stuff
it the V
where
line.
it's where we're looking from. Yeah, the V, like the panty line.
Yeah.
I think even the stuff where it was
Petrova line. It's called the Petrova
Oh, it is
line.
right, which I believe is Russian for anyway.
For what, Tom? Say it.
Pussy.
Go on.
No. So anyway, you asked me to say it, but
Demonetized.
we'll beep that. Anyway,
Okay. But when they're in the Petrova line and you have those beautiful sort of floating specks and that the red imagery and
Yeah.
everything like
I thought that looked kind of cool.
Visually incredible, right?
I
Yeah.
thought that looked cool. I thought the stuff from Rocky's perspective a couple of times, where
Yeah.
we kind of see how it's almost like Gosling is bathed in this
like
weird
sonar
white.
almost.
Yeah, it's sonar, but it's very like watery and vapory. I actually thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. But again,
Which is
this
interesting
why-
because he's almost a water vapor type.
Well, you mean
More of a rock
Gosling
type, isn't he?
No,
Yeah.
I think. Well, that's a good point actually. What's him vulnerable to? Fairy types or lightning types? Fairy type is a. I'm not making a joke.
He's
Pokemon
weak
has
against
a fairy
grass,
type.
grass and water types, of course. But if you battle him like normal Pokemon,
Sure.
he's weak against all types.
Well, how do you get
why-
Rocky? 1 second, Frank. I do have a serious thing to say. Marcus, how do you get Rocky to go back into his cage? Your Pokemon.
Well, of course,
All right. So anyway, what was Frank? You had something very, very important to say.
yes.
I was just going to ask, why are you two the nerdiest motherfuckers of all time?
your best friends, your favorite people in the world.
Because,
and
Frank,
you're shaking your head at your own
Questionable.
decisions.
Because we want to
Yeah.
be the very best, like no one ever was. That's
Like
why.
no one ever was. Yeah.
To catch them is my best.
I
Do
thought
it, it's my cause.
I thought James Ortiz did a wonderful job.
Love it, yeah.
And seeing him in interviews, he seems like he had a great time. He has not had a lot of film experience, so this is cool for him.
Seems like a very
It's
passionate guy.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that there were practical aspects to it, I think, is very
Yeah.
impressive.
I do like a practical aspect. That's always important.
It's
to see
okay,
on
Frank, to
film.
just like, say your opinions without getting, I guess, bitchy is the thing I'm going to call it at the moment. It's got a little.
Guys, do you guys? This is a real question. Do you guys need to kiss, or is it the fact that you kiss too much? I don't
We're
understand.
actually doing
It's
stuff
too
under
much.
the table right now,
Yeah.
which is
We've virtually
the
zoomed in.
dynamic is off. You guys honestly need to go on a break from each other.
I think
I think-
I
No,
just
this
I
is
was
what
a-
happens when we don't like films, and Thomas is a
But it's
fucking.
always, you notice, it's always. You like a movie, and I come in and go, these things didn't work for me this way, and you're
Yeah,
like,
because there's
well,
no
why don't you
back
go
and
fuck
forth, is
yourself? And then when I
Frank,
come in with
I
a
will-
movie
I will
I
say-
love, and you're like, this sucked, Godfather, who? This is
Yeah.
fucking terrible. Like, I'm just like, all right, that's fine. You don't like the
I'm
Godfather.
the 10.2 on this.
Yeah,
I'm the
that's my
10.2 on
emotions.
this, and I'm not rincing Tom like you are.
I don't
So
think it's
it
really
gets
care.
to you.
You don't
I think
care
it's
as much as I do.
really like getting genuinely disgruntled by another person's opinion. Is how I would describe it.
Sue me
So
for
soon,
caring.
I will
Like,
see you in court,
I'm
and
not
the
gonna
judge will
change.
just be
I'm
like, "What a
absolutely
silly
not gonna
man."
So this film again, this ticks a lot of boxes for me personally because one, it's someone taking a swing. It's taking a genre that we love and know, and it's doing something different with it. Whether Tom liked it or not, I still like the fact that they did try and add elements of humour to this, whilst trying to, and in Tom's opinion, unsuccessfully balance that well.
Yeah,
But
it's well put.
that being said, the notes, when it did hit those darker tones and those darker notes, still worked for me because I was checked in. Tom's an idiot. He's wrong. but
Okay.
That's okay.
Well, no, wait a
And
minute. Suddenly,
I
feels like we took a little bit of a bootlegger into
A
something.
little bit of a
there.
bootlegger. But also, yes, the practical effects, very important to me. I love that that's coming back. I'm so fucking fed up, excuse the French, of CGI and CG and VFX, how they're being used in today's films. Some films still doing it very, very well, but I find it's like a 1 in 10 sort of thing. So this to me was great. I was very impressed with it. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Thank you,
Well,
Forrest.
should we move on to like Butler's pantry, for example?
Sure.
I can't wait to hear what he's got to have to say.
He couldn't help himself.
Good.
I thought he was going to do it.
I just
Well, I was
didn't know if
gonna-
you were going to play it.
No, of course he was playing it. It's alluded to. So
But we
shut
don't
up.
know when it ends, so now we know it's ended. So we've actually helped with the editing there, I think.
You know what you could have done is wait for me to share screen so then I could share the sound.
Should we do
and
that
just
now?
Play it. No, I think
No.
we've wasted enough time.
Okay.
Yeah. Off you go.
And again, I'm not mad at you because you don't like the film. I'm mad at you because you're
For the
antagonizing
sort of
me.
person I am. for
Yes.
for my general character.
It's truly for the
for
idiosyncrasies that
my
make up your
base personality, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, base. That's for sure.
Okay.
Butler's Pantry.
I
He has
think it's-
nothing.
I
Why
think
do we
it's
even
weird.
bother doing
I
this?
think
This
it's
is
weird.
a waste of time.
Frank,
Sorry.
you know
You just-
you are
you
getting
just-
really sassy, and it's okay. We're all gonna have our turn to talk. I'm gonna ask you your thoughts in a moment, but I'm
Can't wait.
gonna have something to say. All right.
Go on.
I think that something I find the most distracting about this film from just the perspective of like, well, I didn't enjoy it, and there's a lot of context around it. So what do I get out of that? And some of the context that I think is just interesting that I think other people have talked about online is it's a natural disaster that doesn't seem to be caused by anything to do with humans. It features the world's powers coming together to try and fight it and combat it in a very harmonious way.
I wouldn't say harmonious, but yes.
Well, they ultimately decide that they
Well,
have
it feels like a very forceful and
They're not shooting at each other or going to war over it.
Comparatively to real life,
Comparatively to real
Pretty
life,
harmonious.
they are now unified against a common threat, right? In like almost a
I
Watchmen
guess so.
sense.
It feels like one party has taken control of the situation and is basically calling the shots now. But
wasn't
yes,
sound?
continue.
Yeah,
I think that's true, but
the Dutch?
I know what you're saying, but it would be very.
What's Sandra Hüller.
Sandra Hüller's German, isn't she, or Austrian? I'm pretty sure she's German.
So the Germans take control.
She's freaky dicky Dutch, man. She's one of those.
Her father died in a smelting accident. Is that what? I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
She loves gold.
She loves gold. She calls Ryan Gosling in. I've brought you here today because I love gold.
Ripping skin off her shoulder. That should keep
Take
her.
it, take it. Oh God. Fuck. Where's that movie? See, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that
Smoking a pancake.
for the most part, the characters in this, or sorry, rather, the world powers, have come together fairly cleanly. I know what you're saying, Marcus, that they're in those rooms and they're being like, well, we think this and we think this, but you know what I'm saying, that like, as compared to Arrival. No,
Keep going.
Anyway,
Keep going.
this is, I think, a pretty convenient plot for a movie that in its own way of being very optimistic and being kind of wanting to look on the sunny side and see the best in humanity, it reads as cynical to me, and it doubles as cynical when I think of the fact that it's an Amazon film. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with liking movies that are made by questionable production companies. I fucking love Killers of the Flower Moon. I love movies made by Netflix, right? I don't think these are great companies. I mean,
it takes one cynic to know another, I guess, so continue. Yep.
You mean my cynicism allows me to detect it? That could be it. I don't even think that's... Yeah, I guess. You may well be right. But like...
Confused at that.
Well, I also would say that like I'm perfectly happy to not be cynical at movies that I love, as I think you guys would know. And I come in, I'm like, don't care, made me cry, I loved it, right?
Yep.
Whereas
Cats.
this movie... actually... Sorry, just cats. This movie, I think, is just very much operating from a position where it's like, don't worry about it. In this world, the globe superpowers are working together. They have nothing to do with what's happening to the planet, and they're going to fix it. And then there's going to be this alien that the hero is going to be best friends with pretty much immediately, and everything's going to work out. And I have to tell you guys that when you're not into a movie, and that becomes a very easy way of describing it, you just can't help but kind of sit there and go like, yeah, I just feel like I'm so on the outside of this and I'm seeing it for its moving parts and its dimensions, and it's very, because of the corporate people that make it, maybe slightly saccharine and not particularly thought-provoking view of this sort of world, which again, someone could say that to me of movies that I love and I'd go, well, it didn't work for you, it worked for me. But because this movie didn't work for me, that's a big part of it. And I just think about that, you know?
So, Frank, that was, whilst interesting what he said, didn't feel very Butler's Pantry.
I literally just explained to you why the involvement of a certain corporation that I think has real-world implications in financing the film impacts the likability of it and the degree to which you have to engage with that meta-narrative, or you don't have to. But that's my meta-narrative.
Quick question, though.
Yeah.
This is based on a novel by Andy Weir, as I said at
Yes,
the
it
start.
existed before the film.
So, if, let's say, Universal, Warner Brothers had made this, would you have been like...
I believe Amazon purchased the rights to this book before it was finished being written. It feels very streamlined. It feels very much like one of those, like, we think this is a really good narrative that we'd like to really invest in, you know? And I can't help but find that when I don't enjoy the movie, I have to qualify that every time with, like, I think this is an interesting discussion to have about any film, but it's one that I definitely found myself afterwards. I didn't think about this while I was watching it, but when I finished watching it, I was like, there's a weird narrative there.
I mean, Andy Weir, like, he wrote The Martian and Artemis and a few others that, like...
I think The Martian rules. Do you guys like The Martian?
Martian's great.
Oh, see, that's
How
so
good's
interesting because I found The Martian to be quite average.
Well, Marcus, you're fucking stupid with bad opinions, obviously, and I think you should fucking shut up. And furthermore,
we're
sorry,
truly
that
on different ends of the
was my
spectrum
Frank
here.
impression. Sorry,
Thomas,
apologies. Go
here's
on.
the thing. Marcus says it not like a roadblock. You're a roadblock. You don't understand this.
Roblox?
Don't
know.
engage. Don't engage.
Don't engage.
Anyway, so
Dissing.
Andy Weir writes very cinematic novels, and I think obviously he's on the radar of studios. So of course, Project Hail Mary was going to get made into a film. Of course it was.
Of course.
And there would have been a bidding war, and it would have been like, who can get it? It's going to be great because The Martian was an absolute cracker of a film.
I do agree with that. I think that's a really cool movie.
And this is like the funny version of that. This is like...
Well, The Martian won Best Comedy at the Golden Globes for Matt
Yes, it
Damon,
did.
so what are you talking
Yes,
about?
it did.
Obviously, we all agree it's the funniest film ever made.
ever made. Funnier than Bridesmaids. But that... It's the same contextually, right? It's like a human struck, stranded, communicating via video and
Struck and
problem
stranded?
solving.
How long has he been struck and stranded for?
He got struck
Sorry,
by
I
lightning
just-
once, and they got stranded
When
on
you were
an
telling me
island.
about those aspects earlier, I thought I'd just check in with struck and
Yeah,
stranded. Do you see
so
how
who's
annoying
being-
that is?
who's-
You see how
who's
annoying
being-
that is?
Yeah, I do.
You guys
do
want some
see how
fun
annoying
facts?
you
Do
are.
you want some fun facts about the film?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was saying now. This is
Struck and
like The
stranded
Martian.
was where
This
you
is
were.
like The Martian with a man who is problem solving his way through a dire, tumultuous circumstance, yet playing the comedy. And this is just an elevated, I would say, heightened, funnier, more enjoyable version of that.
I think
The
that's
Martian, I think
a far
the
more
Martian-
endearing version.
I think
far more.
I think that's a way you could describe this movie. I don't quibble with that at all.
Okay, Marcus, some fun facts.
Oh, someone needs to lighten the mood now. Holy shit.
These better
Every
work,
time-
Marcus. It's on you,
every
buddy.
time.
I agree with you, Frank. It's every time.
And then they go again.
No one's worried about our fucking
You guys are
moods.
so explosive. You're like firecrackers right now. Like I'm just a little sizzle and just.
Do you ever feel? Wait, did you say fight?
bag.
Like Idina Men's
Well, so we do have an uncredited cameo in this from Meryl Streep herself during
Yeah.
the Meryl Streep sequence, which I think is nice.
So you know it's good.
That's how you know it's good. It's just like
That's how
Mamma
you know
Mia
it's
and
good,
Mamma
which
Mia
is
2. That's
fantastic.
how you know it's good, Frank.
And I love that
Pierce
she's
Brosnan.
probably off camera with a gun pointed at Gosling to say that line. Even
She's
better.
got a gun pointed at Gosling.
Yeah.
Should've-
So she's the only way. She's like, I'll only say it if you give me a gun to point at Ryan while I say the line.
No,
might kill him.
His line about it's good.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
No,
what you
no,
meant
no, no.
there.
I misunderstood even still. What are you talking about?
It doesn't matter. Tom got it. So moving on, we've got Hail Mary, full of grace. That's where we get the name Grace from. Obviously, it's just talking about Grace being. Just
Is
that
this
little-
IMDb trivia?
It's,
What is
it's
this?
trivia that I found. Look, it's either that or
Where
keep sucking
Was it on a
sticks.
place with an
Where from?
acronymic
Keep-
name
hey,
such as I?
You guys can keep doing gluck gluck
'Cause if
gluck
you
with
say-
each other as long as you
If you
want.
say
all right?
DB.
if you say Hail Mary 3 times, which they do in the film, but then an alien appears. Have you seen that top left corner of the thing?
Oh.
And a demon appears.
Like Beetlejuice?
Or Mary.
little Bloody
Yeah,
Mary.
how it works. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Bloody
You didn't see
Rocky.
The Flash? Like in
Oh,
Fight
my
Club?
God.
Oh, Ezra.
Speaking of Beetlejuice, fun fact number 3. This is all obviously based off the fact that a real life star actually did die or diminish, or at least close to die.
Die
This guy.
or kind of got a bit lower. I
What do
guess.
yeah.
Yeah, it dimmed.
you-
Someone dimmed it.
You-
Someone set the mood on this star, and it freaked
Yeah.
everyone out. But this was
Everyone
star was
started
actually
getting
called-
freaky once they
This
set
was
the
called
mood dimmer down.
Beetlejuice.
Hell
This is
yeah.
actually back in 20
Actually, we should clarify 2 things for the
2019.
listener. We're recording this on April 1st, and it's a full moon tonight. I
Yeah,
don't know
sorry
if you know that.
guys.
So I
April
do
Fools, I loved
feel-
it. 11 out of 11. Could have been a good bit. Frank.
actually would have been a very funny
Imagine,
bit.
like, I
A
was-
waste of an episode,
I was
but a
kidding,
very
I
funny
loved
bit.
it. Oh, God, that would have been so funny. Or I could have done the other way around.
You still
Boy.
could do that, but you've just ruined your own joke.
Yeah.
You could have kept a thought inside for once
Yeah.
and then saved it
You
for
could
later.
have not said the first thing that came to your fucking mind.
Which would never happen. Should we quickly do MVP?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Where is it?
Bit of a
Whenever you're
funny
ready.
one.
And it can't be Gosling.
Hula.
Well, yeah, it's her.
Hula?
I thought Sandra Hula. Hula. Who? Her?
Do the hula?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She threw me for a hula hoop in this. I just thought it was really...
it's 100% her. Then if we can't do Gosling, but then
Put her in
I
the-
think Tom would pick her anyway.
Yeah, put her in the Hall
Gosling?
of Fame. I think she's really great.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
That's actually very good. I'm going James Ortiz because I cared so much for Rocky and I loved his voice.
Interesting.
And he was the puppeteer. Like, he's doing 2 bloody jobs. I hope he got 2 paychecks.
Two bloody jobs.
Bloody Mary.
Hail. Can we say hail? Is that safe still?
Why? For what? What could possibly...
Yes.
Well, Sandra
Frank.
Hula's
please,
German.
Please elaborate. Okay.
How does she
I
say?
see. Well, I think now you've introduced a connotation people wouldn't love.
I'm in this great movie. It's called
You know what? Just go see it. It's
Just Goes.
I play a Dutchman in it, and he loves gold.
I sing Harry Styles. Even doing that accent doesn't feel right. She's a
No.
good singer. She's quite nice.
And I love how
So-
she goes, and that is enough, and finishes it. I love that. I thought that was brilliant. I really genuinely, pretty much any time she was on screen, I was like, oh, this is all right, isn't it? Like, I was not even a little bit upset.
You don't feel, but Gosling's the same. Gosling is just like a winner. He's just a winner, baby.
Yeah, I couldn't find a way around.
She
the-
kind of,
yeah,
in a weird
sorry,
way,
Ryan.
she had very like Julianne Moore energy for me, whilst also reminding me of Sarah Snook in the strangest way possible.
Oh yeah, like,
I found
I understand
different
that.
energies from her, which I wasn't.
Looky,
What do
looky,
you
here's
like?
a
Oh, yeah.
snooky.
Oh, yeah,
Snooky,
snooky.
looky, have you found a snooky?
Really
All right,
good.
on those we probably need to start thinking about shushing.
What do you
What do you
mean by that?
It's been an hour.
Okay.
Look at the clock. Just keep an eye on anything.
Okay.
Oh,
man.
okay.
Sorry,
That's fair
dude.
enough.
I understand.
Well,
Thank you
do
for getting reasonable there at the end, Frank. It was a little touch and go, but I think you really nailed the ending.
I've really just simmered down.
In saying that, did you guys want to? I mean, could we just quickly riff off what a potential recast would be?
Of course we can.
Yeah, let's do recast. Let's do this one.
Recast, we're
Is this
gonna
the new
change
one?
up the cast. Oh my gosh, it's recast.
This sounds so-
Recast.
I swear, every episode he goes, "That's I have to play this one because I'm making the other one. I haven't made the other one yet."
No, that's got a real studio finish to it, Marcus. What are you talking about? I feel like it's there.
Who's talking in the background? Have you got like school children or something?
Would you guys like to record a song? Would you guys like to do anything? Any fucking
Hey,
work?
Frank,
Hey,
you're absolutely
hey,
right. I'm
hey.
sorry.
And this
I
is
just
why
asked a question. I asked.
This
who
is
the
why
kids
I
were.
hide away from recast, because I don't like playing that jingle. I don't like it. I'm not happy with it.
Okay, if you were to recast, you're probably maybe only looking at 2 characters in this to do it for.
Well, I'd recast Rocky as Stitch.
Okay,
From Lilo and Stitch.
definitely not what I was going for.
What's wrong with that?
I think it could only make the movie better. I like Stitch more. I think you're right. It's kind of in the same
Man, he still just rolled some
category.
cynicism in there.
Well, no, I agree with Frank. I think it's one of those things where most people will be like, haha, good joke, but they, no one would actually want to do that. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'd watch that. I suppose it was just Stitch instead.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, he is super intelligent and he learns how to speak and he understands family.
You can't be talking about Frank right now. You're talking about Stitch. Okay.
He kind of crawls around like a spider.
I love you, Francis. I really
can
have
be-
enjoyed it today. I think it's been a
Yeah.
lovely time.
Who would you
John, speak
recast
for
Ryan
yourself.
Gosling as?
I like John David Washington in this role. I'd love to see like him stretch what I think are some surprisingly. He's dude from Tenet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've not
Interesting.
seen him. I don't know him from anything
He's
except
in
from
a
the
few-
poster of Tenet.
He's in a few other things, and he's in the piano lesson. Or is it the piano lesson? I'm pretty sure.
Is he
that-
taking piano lessons?
He's not
Is
taking
he
piano
getting-
lessons in that one. Weirdly, sorry, it's the penis lessons. It's one where he has to.
Why-
Well, you should see the movie. I don't want to spoil it for you. But anyway, he's like got a little bit of comedic energy to him that I think would be interesting to explore. I don't know, Marcus. What are you thinking?
Well, yeah. This is a
Paul
problem.
Newman.
No, this is a problem because I feel like I've said
What?
this guy in almost every recast I've done, so I kind of don't want to say.
You're
it.
going to say Pedro Pascal?
No.
Okay.
I'm very off the Pedro train.
Since he shaved his moustache. Oy.
Yeah. I guess.
who you gonna
I don't
say?
know. I still think like your Oscar Isaac would have been a very good choice for this. I still think he's.
Absolutely not.
You don't like him, do you?
Strong disagree. No, I like him.
I like him
think he's good.
too. I think that I would like to see him rein it in after, even though I said he wasn't my problem with Frankenstein. It's like, I don't want him to keep doing that. If he could find a way to go back to being a very, very, like, simmeringly handsome South American rather than kind of weird bug-eyed Victorian freak. So something like this, but a bit more restrained, I guess, would be interesting, yeah.
I think you could obviously put Rockwell in there, Sam Rockwell.
Sure.
It's almost too easy.
I think you're right. That's an easy one.
Glenn Powell, I think,
that's
would be
great.
good in this.
Yes.
I really like Glenn Powell, and I think he has the range to do it.
You might be right, actually, with Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Have you
pretty
guys
good shout.
seen
I think you
what's
could
that
put
movie,
I-
Chad Powers? Have you seen the TV show Chad Powers?
No.
Even Skarsgård, Alexander Skarsgård would be interesting.
I think
'Cause
Will Poulter. Yeah.
Yeah. Will
Yeah,
Poulter.
Will Poulter absolutely would
Oh, yeah.
would kind of pull something. Yeah.
Okay.
Logan Lerman?
Yeah. Wait, no, I was thinking of Dylan O'Brien. I'm not doing a bit. I always get them confused. Dylan
Yeah, they're
O'Brien.
Yeah, Dylan O'Brien, maybe,
hey,
actually.
he's really good in Send Help. If you guys haven't seen that movie, it's been really fun.
I haven't.
That's a good movie.
His interviews are funny where he talks about rape. We're not
We
gonna-
can't get into that. Who would we replace Sandra Hüller with? We wouldn't. It's illegal. Moving on. Like, what's next?
Oh, and Sean William Scott.
For Rocky,
as Laurel as
Anyway.
I think
as
that could
Sandra
work. Him just as playing Stifler.
as any scientist. Yeah, definitely.
He's just from a Stifler planet where there's their son is
a dick!
Oh my god, bro, we gotta fuck. We gotta save the stars, bro.
Obviously.
We don't even sound. That's not even.
I don't
what are
even
you
know. I'm
doing?
just doing like
It's not even a
American
line.
teenager in a frat movie.
It was bad.
Bro,
just
we
like
gotta
this
suck each
entire
other's dick, bro.
episode. Is anyone going to throw anything in?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, I might drop. Ooh, sorry.
I'll go like a 4.5. I think you guys make a pretty convincing argument for there being a sincerity to to Gosling in this, and the arc that's facilitated by Rocky, even if I don't like Rocky. And again, I still think it's a pretty shallow or not particularly interesting arc, but it's there. And I think you guys
Wow,
make that
4 to 4.5 is such a big throw, Tom. Thank you.
Is there anything wrong, Francis? Is everything okay? You doing well?
I feel great. I am. Thank you for asking. I'm feeling fit and strong. I'm getting over a cold.
Yeah.
So life's good.
Okay.
Marcus, you said you were throwing something in?
Yeah, I'll probably just drop it to a 10, but I want to go and watch this movie again.
Whoa.
10 again.
Tom made some compelling points, honestly, with some of the scenes. I'm kind of flashing it back now in my head and going, some scenes I did check out a little bit. I kind of go, we could probably maybe have done without this, and that probably lends itself to maybe its very long running time. I did get a little antsy in my seat at times, being like I did look at my watch at one point. So, I don't know.
Before we finish, what do you think about essentially the last shot of the movie with all the little rock children?
I hated that. No. I did hate the ending. I think it could have easily... I didn't mind the ending, as it were, with the choice made and the biodome and everything set up for him to establish. I also didn't mind it ending with him saying, hey, by the way, we can now actually get you back to Earth. And he goes, let me think about it. I think that's where it should have stopped.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the book he doesn't go back to Earth.
No, I would
decision,
still like to believe that he doesn't now. But it would have just been nice, I think, to finish on that line, because it leaves it with that, do you reckon he would have, or do you reckon he would have stayed? And I like that sort of elusive, choose your own ending almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I enjoyed the ending. It's just strangely optimistic and resolute to be like, cool, it all works out, everyone's happy. Like, I need that in a movie. You know how I am, guys.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I like the cheesy ending. I normally don't like
that fluff, but it
I
kind of worked.
I think it can be lovely in movies where, the one that comes to mind for me is Little Women immediately. And I remember that episode, you guys were like, ending's a bit Hallmark. And I'm like, I don't care, I love it. It's beautiful. They're all together and they're having lunch. They're having a banquet. And it's because that movie convinces me. This movie doesn't convince me. For most of it, I found it very
Really, Tom, why don't you elaborate on that? Oh, we're out of time.
That's such a shame.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay, Frank. I want to thank you so much for having what I think is your calmest and most rational episode of the show.
Well, considering it's nearly midnight and my baby's asleep in the next room, I'm trying to keep it down.
My baby's asleep in the next room. It's midnight. Don't want to put up a fight.
So
no.
That was our Project Hail Mary episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Through the power.
Trying to keep any sort of order here, Thomas, honestly. Thanks for listening to Throw on the Power. My name is Frank.
My name is Marcus.
My name is Tom.
And that was Project Hail Mary.
It certainly was. What an experience that was.
Thank you for listening to our last ever episode of Throw in the Power.
Throw in the Pal at Instagram, throwinthepal at gmail.com, throw in the Pal on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We love you. Thank you so much for listening. I'm not mad.
Through the power.